I believe yes, there is. I believe yeah. Yeah, great. So here actually the record has been started. Then immediately I'll start from where we stopped as class. We define the context of the TVPs, and we say that it is a sort of a type that the developers refer to enhance the security view whenever we are building a SQL Server based project. Whenever we are building actually a SQL Server based project, thus uh, we may refer to the implementation of the TVP. The TVP, as per the first definition, is a sort of a new architecture that draws a view to a table, a view to a view, something like that, that helps us to control the inputs to stored procedures, the input to user-defined functions, UDFs. Thus, the TVP is not only a sort of a temporary table to store data in only. No, it's not only that. It is, we may call a tool. It's more than a type to control, since it's controlling the input to an SP to an sort of procedure, or the input to a user-defined function. So it's a tool. It helps us, and we can see this help when we reutilize the TVP again and again within the project lifecycle. And we said that it is generalized in the sense of that we can only edit the defined object, and then after all the updates would be actually seen updated in all the parts across the program or across the project. An example of generating a type, an example of generating a type using the SQL Server, in addition to the same thing actually to be generated using the Oracle, uh, means this is a question of the platform you are dealing with. Thus, the syntax little bit of differences. Other than that, the component is the same. We are generating a type. Let's create actually an int which is not null, that we are going to utilize once for all inside the across the program. So we are defining it with the let's say user defined name ID. We are giving it the name ID, and this ID is a type that would cover all the int not null defined objects in the program. Later on, if you wanna just declare a new variable or a new component with the data type int not null, so simply we call the ID. We make a call to the ID. Very simple. As if we are just declaring the int not null. The same thing, actually, if we are willing to utilize the varchar 100 as declared here, we are utilizing the location. So every location to be typed, every new location to be actually declared later on in the program, we may declare it with a type location, which is referring to the varchar 100. If we compare to the Oracle, actually, you would like to see that an object has been generated, and the object would point to the data type, the original data type. The same thing here in location. It's an object that has been generated, and it would point to a data type which is the varchar 100. So that's a little bit different, but it's the same. Let's say final object. Here, actually, we see an example of TVP, table valid parameter. Actually, we are given the structure of a table. So we are generating a new user-defined table, given the name customer UDT. Customer UDT. This is it. This is it. Which is a table that holds three fields: ID, customer name, postal code. Three fields. This is a user-defined, let's say, type that would be utilized later on in the program, respecting this syntax, whatever we say, this architecture, not syntax. Just we call the customer UDT later in the program to refer to this TVP, this table value parameter. At the end of the day, sorry, the TVP, or the table value parameter, it is a tool that would help us along with the let's say common table extensions. Here we see them here. They are actually giving us the chance to control the input, the retrieval, the update of data inside the original objects inside the database. So we may treat the TVP or any type like TVP or common table extensions as if we are dealing with the original data, not with a virtual one. Means we deal with a certain data whenever we are just using this custom IDT, for example, as if we are dealing with the pointed object, really. So we want to insert an ID, we'll use this custom UDT to insert an ID, as if we are inserting it to the real one. We want to update the customer name, we will update it here, as if we are updating it in the original one. So there is no restriction here. Does not mean we are generating a new type, so we will have a different DML or DDL to utilize. No, it will be the same. So we are just covering the original one for security purposes, yet the action would be still valid. TVP is actually abbreviation TVP table valid parameter, CTE common table expression. Uh, we go just one step further. We just dig into one step further. Uh, Originally, actually, based on before defining the T-SQL, before we the T-SQL comes to be highlighted and to be developed and commercialized by Microsoft. Uh, for the context or the following context, see the following context, we need to make an order and we pass an order. So the system that takes care of this order, let's say control, would have to have a procedure to store the order request and the order details itself. Normally, habitually, what we use to see through the digital systems, if a customer tries to pass an order to a system, so there have to be a procedure to, let's say, to store the order. There have to be a way how to the order, how storing the order into the system, and there have to be another procedure and another way to store the or to pass the order details. Okay, I am Fulan. I'm gonna pass an order to buy, for example, uh, to buy a car, for example. Yes. So passing the order is the first task, and I want to buy a car colored blue and let's say 4-wheel drive or something. Some specificities, the order details is a second procedure, is a second task. There have to be two tasks to be done. This is originally. So first of all, we pass the order and we wait for the order details later on. Then after when the order details comes, then after the system will confirm that. With the TVP and with the T-SQL, we can utilize the TVPs to generate one single procedure to pass two commands, one for the order and one for the order details. Using what? Using the TVPs. Now, using the TVPs, we may pass a stored procedure. We may create a stored procedure, single one, only one, with two table valued parameters. And those two valued parameters, they would be considered as variables. Each one is a table valued parameter, each to point the order and the order details. And the order detail. Here's the syntax. Sorry. The user defined of the procedure here actually is a procedure user define user defined actually procedure here. Insert new order. This is the name, user defined name, user procedure, insert number or new order, whatever. Let me maximize the view. Great. Where we are given the architecture of this stored procedure with two parameters, which are the parameter one, order TVP, and the parameter two is the order detail or details TVP. We add the at the beginning, the at at the beginning here, the at at the beginning here to say that we are declaring a variable name. This is a name. This is a name. This is a variable name, user-defined variable name, and the at here, the arrobas here, is the sign for that. The first one, order TVP, would act like order UDT. What is the order UDT? Actually, it is one procedure that has a single, let's say, let me come back to show it to you. We saw it earlier. Like this one, customer UDT. We have a TVP. We can create it like so. Order UDT that has an architecture. It's a table like. So the same way, order TVP would be, sorry, order UDT here would be defined in a TVP with an architecture that fits exactly a table. The same way here for the second parameter, it is like as a user-defined actually table, let's say TVP, that would match exactly the same architecture of an existing table inside the database. Both of them they are read only. Both of them they are read only. Both of them they are read only. Read only here we will discuss it in just in a while, because whenever we pass a TVP as a parameter and we try to populate it, we populate and we pass it. Then it has to be considered as read only. Then it has to be considered as read only. This is one of the limitations of the TVP. This is one of the limitations of the TVP. This is actually it would be considered as a signature to the stored procedure. It can be considered as a signature to the stored procedure. Good. I come back here. Yes, and this procedure would do the following. This procedure with this architecture, he would do the following, which is the insert and the insert into the order, and the insert into the order detail, the insert into the order, and the insert into the order detail. The order to insert the order, what is it? It's a table, no? To insert what? To insert what the first variable order TVP, the order TVP has inside. Select star from order TVP. See, it's a strange syntax. Insert into table, select from. Yeah, it is like that, because what we are going to insert from this to this order has to be extracted or retrieved from the order TVP already. The same one for the second. What you are willing to insert to the order detail has to be extracted from the order detail TVP. So the order TVP would give us the same architecture as the order. The order detail TVP has to give us the same architecture as the order detail. Any questions here? Any questions here, please? Okay. I believe Ahmed Al Jabri. Any questions, Ahmed Al Jabri? Great, great. So everybody with me. One step further, I said that the read only is a signature to the user-defined procedure here. The procedure we create, the read only, it's a signature to the order, to the procedure, and it indicates that those two, or each of those TVPs, they are only for usage, like they are. They are not to be altered. They are not to be altered. Why? Because there is no alter for a type. The TVP we generate, we cannot pass an alter here. We can pass insert, select, delete maybe, but alter, no, we cannot pass the alter. Alter means modify, modification, addition. No, we cannot pass to a procedure using the read only, let's say, order TVPs, table valid parameters. The order is only an example. We cannot utilize the alter here. And because of this only, they are read only. Good. One step further, the SQL Server has defined to us the SQL Server platform has defined to us 4 new data types or variables data types that can be utilized only from within the SQL Server. We cannot find them otherwise. The date time 2, and date time offset. Those are actually 4 specific data types that can match actually any needs if you need them. Actually, they are to be utilized within the .NET platform fully, not only the SQL Server. Means we can utilize them within the Visual Studio also. So they are introduced by the SQL Server, yes, but using the .NET you can utilize them also. What is the .NET? Means any Microsoft-based solution like the Visual Studio. The syntax for declaring, for example, any variable within the T-SQL, declare the keyword. Then after you state the at before the variable name, this is DOB, date of birth. This is user defined. Means here I can change whatever I want. ABC, any name I want, I can do. I can do. So it has to indicate my needs only. And then after the day, the data type. The same thing, data type. So this is the syntax how we utilize them from within the T-SQL. Yes? Okay. One other feature that the T-SQL presents to us is the merging of statements. The merging of statements. The merge, actually, the merging of, let's say, procedures, statements, queries. Here we talk about, at the end of the day, we're going to merge, at the end of the day, entities inside a database. Entities, we talk about tables of views, or things like that. Mainly we talk about tables. But the merge, like the word literally speaking, merge. The TSQL do enhance such a functionality which was not available before the TSQL. Before the TSQL, the merge statement was not available. It was not possible to any user, to any developer to refer and utilize the merge statement before the integration of the TSQL, the transact SQL. This merge statement actually, which is presented by the TSQL, it implements one security feature or one security technique, which is the obscurity. It obscures some data, some, let's say, architecture, some view. It runs the object hidden somehow. Means you cannot actually end use they can see only values without seeing the architecture, without seeing what we expect to hide, so it can be hidden using the merge. So the merge statement can enhance the technique, the security technique, nominate obscurity. Security technique. Remember that. Good. What we see here in front of us is the example of the order and the order detail. Actually, what we are going to do in this this view here to make the merge clear for us is the context of passing an order and updating the stock. Passing an order, yes, we buy something and we update the stock. We have 2 entities inside the database. We have 2 entities inside the database, let's say. Uh, I'm trying to move it to front actually. Whatever. Regardless, I believe they are clear. I believe they are clear. Regardless, the actually the trade here, the entity trade here, it holds all what customers has passed as orders, the details themselves. They are going to buy quantity from a product, quantity from a product, quantity from a product, and so on. Those are what they are going to let's say to buy, let's say. And those details, if they are available in the stock, okay, we stock them. We update the stock with a new quantity. Means we deduct the quantities from here, from here, based on the order detail. Give an example. DVW, this one, the first one. The first customer is asking the DVW 5 units, for example. Yeah, 5 units. Okay. What should we do? We have to see if it's available there. Yes, available. So what should we do since it's available? We have to update the quantity. It is available 10. So we deduct the 5. So it becomes 10. No more, no less. Otherwise, if you are going to store it to add, we are not going to buy, we are going to add. So just add. Either we are going to deduct if it is sold, or we're going to increment if it is to be added to the stock availability. Okay, let's come to the merge statement and explains exactly what I was discussing here, or what I was presented to you here. So we are going to utilize the merge statement like let me maximize the view also to make it more clear. I'll explain and I'll return the same size, the original one. We are going to utilize, we're going to refer to the merge statement. The merge statement here would utilize the stock entity to merge it with what? The trade entity. So the statement says merge stock using trade. We're going to merge the stock entity, the first one, with the trade entity. The syntax says merge stock using trade. The order has to be respected here. The order has to be, it's a must. It's substantial. It is important. We have to respect the merge of the first unit using the second unit, because we're going to check here and here we're going to make the updates. Thus, we use merge stock, the first one, using what? If we're going to update here the trade, we swap merge trade using stock. No, in this case, and what we explained here, we're going to merge the stock using what? Using the trade. Okay, the startup of this query, let's say this procedure is not a query, is clear. Okay, the merge will be done based on what? The merge would be done using on what? Let me just minimize the view here a little bit. We have two fields, they are nominated symbol here in the stock and symbol in the trade. Using this field, those two fields, sorry, we are going to merge. If they are matching or not. If they are matching or if they are different. If they are matching, we check the quantities and the delta. If they are not matching, we'll add a new one. Very easy. Matching means we'll update only quantity. If they are not matching, so we add the quantity. Matching means that the stock does not have this product, so we have to add it. The stock does not have, so we add it. Let's look to the condition here, how it looks like. Since we are going to merge the stock using the trade, using what? On the stock symbol that has to be equal to the trade symbol. Merge the stock using the trade when comparing what? The two symbols, the stock symbol, that it has to be equal or not to the trade symbol. Still we did not they are matching or not, but in case they are, we will see now when matched, when not matched. Here they come the blocks when matched and when matched, that's it, and when not matched, we see the conditions that they come here. Yet for now we are just building the syntax how the merge has to be built. So we are going to merge an entity using an entity based on fields validity. So we merge the entity number 1 using the entity number 2 on a field from the entity number 1 that has to be equal in our condition here, the equal here, to the field in the entity number 2. Our entities, they are stock and trade. So finally, in conclusion here, merge stock using trade on, it's a keyword. See, it's written in capital. It's a keyword. The field stock from the first entity, which is the field symbol from the first entity, which is the stock. We need it to be matching the same field name, which is the symbol from the second entity, which is the trade. When matched, what are they? Those two symbols. the trade symbol and the stock symbol. If they are matching, means they are yes. Here, the value here equals the value here. Great. What we do? We check the quantity to the delta. We check the quantity to the delta and stock quantity, stock dot quantity plus the trade dot, let's say the delta here, volt 0. What does it mean? Means if the request exactly is requesting the same quantity available in the stock, he's asking for 5, and the stock is only holding 5. The order will take 5, so the order content will be negative. Let me show it to you. If there will be a request, so the order content will be in negative -5. See here, the -5 means here we're going to buy, here we're going to sell. So the -5 plus 5, how much? 0. So the stock will be empty at that point. Good. So if you are making a sum here, the quantity to the delta, they are equal to 0, then there will be no stock at all. There will be no stock at all. A delete query would be passed here. Delete query will be only executed at this time. So we are protecting the stock from being altered unless all of those constraints has been passed. If the merge has been happened, the validity of the two fields, the product or whatever, the fields we are talking in an abstract way, the fields they are matching, then we make a condition of this in our example here only we are making an addition. Then at that time we do the delete. The deletion will happen, or the deletion has to happen only at this position. Merge, step number 1. Test of validity or test of equality here, step number 2. Step number 3 here, the match. Step number 4, the action to do, which is the delete. See the deep level of this or the depth level of this delete query. 3 layers. The 4th is the delete. When we said that it is the obscurity, so the merge is a very effective solution to build the obscurity in this context. It's a very effective technique to build the obscurity, because we may do immediately delete from where? Delete from where? That's it. Very simple. We use the where clause if you are just dealing with the SQL. But here, the word can be injected again. There can be issues later on. This way, those issues, they are actually almost covered. They are not 100%. Remember, we cannot say 100% secured. The second condition, when matched, then that's it. Just matched. That just matched means we are not checking if the quantities they are the same. The request and the available, their sum means volt 0. No, we are just checking that the product is available. We'll do an update simply. We'll do an update. Either this match would be validated, or this match would be validated, or what would come later on, which is not matched at all, would be executed. One of them, those 3, would be executed, not all. And this means this merge statement here, either this block of matching would be executed, or this block of matching would be executed, or this block of non-matching would be executed. The second match here, we said that only a match without quantity addition here, without any constraints regarding the quantity. For example, the stock has actually a lot of the product number 1, so we don't care about the quantity here. We buy whatever the quantity is. So there will be an update only. There will be an update only. Update query. This is a simple select. This is a simple SQL query. Update. It's a simple SQL query here. The third block is the when not matched. What is the not matched? Here, the symbol in the entity trade does not match the symbol in the entity stock. If for example, here we are searching for the NWT like it is here, it's not available, the NWT here. We see the third product here, NWT, it's not available here. So what should we do? We have to update the stock, the original one to be updated. Why we update the stock? Because we stated that the merge is to be done on this stock. See the first one here. So we are going to insert in this stock what it is available in the trade, as simple or as delta. Any questions? Ahmed Jabri, any questions? Great, everything in place. Good. We pass a little bit, just one step further here. Using this merge statement here, actually, there is, let's say, a join method. It means we are going to test if they are matched or not. And when matched, we are going to do a second test, like in this example here, to see the quantity requested and the quantity available in stock. So we are talking about a join method. We are talking about the join method, the matched and the not matched. We are talking about a join method. This is not the join available actually in the simple the SQL methodology referred to join two entities. No, we are talking about a methodology via which we are going to merge two entities using the merge statement here within the T-SQL. When matched, when not matched, and when matched and when not matched by source. What is the source? In this example, the first one, the first entity mentioned in the merge. In this example, stock. Refer to this table description in your book, please. Refer to this table description in your book to understand more about this join actually methodology. We took the example here, yes, but even though, refer to your book again. One step further. Uh, yeah, we define now the syntax how to build a merge statement, and we said that as per the description, it is one of the tools to enhance the security techniques. We may set on a project that use the SQL Server as a backend solution, which is the obscurity. The technique described here is the obscurity. Still another layer to enhance this obscurity, which is the creation of a procedure, user-defined procedure, to cover the merge statement even. Another layer we are going to cover this merge with. So when we said that, for example, we come back here, the delete was the third or the fourth. Just give me a second, please. Sorry for the interruption. Yes, I was saying that the delete here, I was discussing that the delete here, we presented in the merge statement. It is seen at the fourth level. We have to build the merge, Then after we check the validity of, here in this example, we are equality test between the symbol, stock and trade. Then after the match, when matched or not, if matched or not, we are having a second test, third layer here, third test. Then comes the fourth level, comes the delete. Fourth level, huh? Fourth level, number four. Here, if you are doing whatever, actually it is a delete or update or whatever, it would be fifth level, not after number five. Why? Because we are going to call the procedure at the beginning. We have to call the procedure at the beginning. The call of this procedure would be covered itself. The call itself would be covered. So this is the number one, the number layer to face, let's say, the input or the output. Then the number two, the merge. Then the number three, the validity here, or the, let's say, the quality here. Four, the match, the one match. Five, the query itself. Lemia, can you repeat what I just was saying right now? Can you repeat what I was saying right now, Lemia, please? Can you re-manifest us the idea of obscurity, that the context of the merge or the whatever here, what we are seeing through the merge statement, or the procedure and the merge, user-defined procedure and the merge statement? How can we manifest the context of the obscurity? How it is seen? Khadija, can you just repeat? Can you just re-manifest us? You are not allowed to leave the room, please. Otherwise, I'll mark you absent. So be here. Saeed, can you repeat what I was saying, Saeed? Musab, can you repeat what I was saying, Musab? Can you repeat? I mean, you just present the idea. You do not need to repeat exactly what I said, but just what would be, how we can see the obscurity through the merge, or through the merge in addition to the user-defined procedure. I believe that it's clear. Yes, Musab, you want to say something?
Not all.
No worries, no worries. Just remember that we are not able to reach the execution of the query unless a bunch of tasks to test, means we are going to test the validity of the process, either to do it or not. Actually, the purpose is to do a much more perfect task, less in code and less in space in memory, and then after and then also later on we are going to utilize it again and again without rewriting the code and so on. But in addition to that, it is enhancing a security technique or a security feature, which is the obscurity, which is viewed, or let's say seen here, behind covering those queries, those simple SQL queries, the update or the insert or the select or whatever. Uh, I'll stop at this level. I'll take the attendance now. If you hear your name, please type yes. Immediately, I'm gonna stop the recording first of all. If you hear your name, say yes. Pronoun